Boom! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hotfire MTG.
Smoking Hotfire MTG.
Smoking Hotfire MTG in 2021. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back. We know it's been a while since we've put out a video. We've both been a little crazy busy in the last few months, but we want to...
And honestly, we just wanted 2020 over with, too,
yeah,
right?
thank God it's finally over. So... Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to start 2021 with kind of a discussion video about what we expect from Magic the Gathering in 2021 and a little bit of a look back at 2020, the crazy year that it was in so many ways, more ways than one. And just kind of our impressions of what's happened and where we go from here. So first up in 2021 is Kaldheim.
Norse-themed Back to the Snow set.
The Viking-themed set, yeah. So that we don't know a whole lot about it yet. We've had some spoilers come out so far, but it's basically just kind of some previews. We're not really into spoiler season yet, officially.
Right, there's been a few leaks, there's been this and that, but yeah, we got basically a handful of cards to look at this point. We are filming on January 3rd. To give a reference point.
Yeah, so I'll pull up on the screen here some of the cards that have been spoiled so far. We know that we're going to have, we know the new fancy showcase thing looks like. We know we're going to have a return of snow permanents. We know we're going to have...
We do, and we only really know that by the one spoiler that's been out, which was a snow sorcery, I believe. Now, I don't think that is a confirmed leak, but at any rate...
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think, because I'm looking at the card gallery right now, and I don't think there are any snow cards listed on there officially yet. But We're pretty sure that there are going to be snow permanents, and we know there are going to be a return of the modal double-faced cards, MDFCs.
Yeah, so they're completing the land cycle that they began in Zendikar Rising in Kaldheim. We do know that for sure, that the other 4 lands that were missing are going to be in this set.
They are going to be in this set, complete with the full art borderless treatment, and they look absolutely gorgeous. Just like the Zendikar ones, they look absolutely amazing.
Just like 2020... Nothing was unique snowflake, and doesn't look like 2021 starting out any different.
So
and that's something we'll get into a bit later.
Yeah, because we know that we will have collector boxes for Kaldheim again. So
we're back to set boxes as well. And an interesting note on the set box thing: there's been a lot of talk and a lot of hype about the fact that they're actually going to be more focused on printing the set boxes than they are going to be printing the draft boxes. There looks like to be almost an initial shortage of draft boxes.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like we've really come out of this pandemic.
Right. I was just going to mention that, because it's not like, I don't know that they're going to, continue that. What am I trying to say?
It's gonna be hard to say once we come back to organized play.
Yeah, I don't know that they're continuing that because they want to kill off draft boosters, or they expect people will start buying set and collector boxes instead. I think that is kind of just a side effect, pun intended, of the pandemic and the fact that people can't get together to draft in person right now.
Yeah. I'd also like to make a quick note that either of the other 2 products, Matt, you cannot draft with them.
You can't draft with them. No. which is unfortunate. So I think they'll continue to support draft boxes going forward. But right now, yes, I think they'll focus a little more on, and set boxes have been really popular. Set boxes were really, really popular.
Well, again, in the whole scheme of things here, we got a situation where it's like, well, we nothing special. But at least with the set boxes, you have a list to chase.
The list, which is another thing we'll want to talk about, because we know we're going to have set boxes with Kaldheim. So do you think there will be a new list? Or...
I think at least, if not a new list, the list that's current will be altered. Okay. Again, there's already been talk that the list has been altered for even the second print run of Zendikar set boxes.
Oh, interesting.
So there's been talk
Okay.
about, I'm not even sure if Renin 6 is still in there, whatnot, but like Cryptic Command has been X'd out of the list.
Really? Okay.
Like, there's been some adjustments. Again, I have nothing to back that up with. That's just been sort of the popular discussion.
That's a rumor? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I would kind of expect that the list will change and evolve going forward. It'll be like a living document kind of thing. It'll continue to change going forward. But yeah, I think that's probably more likely that they just make some small changes to the list instead of, releasing
right.
a whole
And honestly,
new
guys, like
list.
Wizards or whoever, like if you're gonna do list cards, put commons that matter in. Don't put like what's that tiger from, or the friggin' cat from Visions? Like, come on, put playable cards in the list. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, make it decent. Like, if you're really gonna attack the secondary market on the reprints, which which is why you did away with MSRP, then put something in that makes it worth it.
That people actually want, yeah.
Exactly.
People, clearly, and as I said, set boosters are really popular. People want that chase. They want to be able to open packs that they have a chance at hitting something of big value. People love that. But, yeah, when you we cracked a set booster on the weekend, and
just
it was
pack.
It was just one pack, yeah. And there was a list card in it. I can't even remember what it was, but it was just some pointless, stupid, uncommon card.
It was Annex.
Annex, yes.
It was Annex from a current standard set on the list. I've actually opened a set booster that had an Angrath for More of the Spark.
Right, for More of the Spark.
And
which is
come on.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I know some people have said that the list should be a little more on theme. So for Kaldheim, maybe focus on previous snow-themed sets and have cards, commons, uncommons, rares, and mythics from previous snow-themed sets that are kind of on theme with the set. I think that's a great idea. I don't know why we have all this random stuff from even really recent sets appearing in the list, because the chase is exciting, but when you pull something that is just a big letdown, that feels bad. That sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got a list card.
The list in Kaldheim looks to be super exciting. Moving back to snow, which has that sort of Ice Age, hopefully no cumulative upkeep, which I don't think that'll come back, but also Cold Snap feel. Like, it should be really cool. Hopefully we get some snow-covered lands again with the snow theme matters.
Yes.
And with Modern Horizons 2, which is coming up as well.
We're going to get to that,
with the initial Snowlands with Modern Horizons 1, we might see a tie-in here.
Yes, I think we will. So, yeah, that's about all we know about Kaldheim right now. So not much more to talk about with that.
Yeah. What do you got? Oh, well, one thing I do want to mention is we got Warriors.
Yes. That's true.
Sorry, Elves, Dwarves, Valkyries, and
a couple shapeshifters. A couple shapeshifters too. We have 3 shapeshifters so far spoiled in green, which is that's a lot.
The dwarf thing, they actually came out with like a dwarf pseudo lord. And it's been really interesting to see the market react to, because 2020 was your commander.
Yes.
It's really been interesting. Every time there's a spoiler that looks even remotely good, the market reacts like insanely and goes ahead and buys out all these cards from Nemesis Onslaught.
Yeah, so you're referring to Magda, the Brazen Outlaw, the dwarf.
Yeah, cards like that. And I think you're going to continue to see this sort of FOMO, mindset when it comes to spoilers, and like again,
we did
Commander
with
being all the rage because everybody's stuck at home and playing on Zoom.
Right, like Jeweled Lotus, like the whole Jeweled Lotus thing. Everybody went nuts, started buying it out. And last worth mentioning, we're gonna have a return of vehicles. There's one vehicle that's been spoiled in Kaldheim. So we may have a couple more. I was hoping we'd have like a Viking longship kind of thing spoiled.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
But
all right. So moving on from
else?
Kaldheim. After that, sometime later in Q1, early Q2, we are getting Time Spiral Remastered. And you're shaking your head. What are your initial thoughts when I say Time Spiral Remastered? What jumps into your mind?
Well, I just, without saying it directly, it's like 2020 was sort of like, you know what? Like, let's just show an example here. This
Secret Layers, we'll touch on that.
In a nutshell.
And we'll touch on that because we know Secret Layers will continue through.
It's the only one I have, by the way, and it's only because it's got those. But at any rate, there was a major issue in 2020 where Wizards just attacked the secondary market so aggressively,
and
without organized play, like Modern was just crushed. People started playing Legacy because they had established small groups of players, again playing online, but Modern was crushed. Standard's been basically annihilated.
Yep.
And Pioneer was the format that was just coming, out of its shell. We're seeing a lot of problems there. We obviously have major, issues with Arena. I won't get into that. But
no, we're not going to talk about
Time
Arena
Spiral
today.
Remastered, we're going down that rabbit hole once again.
Yes.
So what we're doing is we're essentially Time Spiral and the original. It actually had reprint cards in it. It was sort of the fundamental, the birth child of the list.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You just mentioned that earlier. I wasn't around, so I'm kind of excited for Time Spiral. As somebody who didn't play Magic back then, only having got into it in the last few years, I'm excited for it. But you're absolutely right. They are going balls deep on trying
Steel Panther balls.
Right, trying to capture that secondary market value up front for themselves and to take it away from distributors, from stores, and from evil investors who crack boxes and flip singles online, which, I don't blame them for wanting to make money, but that's bad for the game. It's bad for the ecosystem as a whole.
You need a balance. Richard Garfield has said, and, even Rosewater, the reserves list initially was something necessary to make the game survive.
Right. Yes, and it worked.
But it's no longer relevant. And Richard Garfield, creator of the game, said it should be accessible. Nothing should be insanely expensive. But at the same time, it's a collectible card game, so there needs to be a fundamental balance between these two things.
It has to be worth it for people to crack packs and stores to do mass box openings to flip singles.
If everything's worthless, why spend money on product?
Right, exactly.
But with Time Spiral Remastered, it's going to be what do they do with this? If collector boxes carry into this set, my God,
that was going to be one of my questions.
The fallout.
That was going to be one of my questions. Do you think Time Spiral will have a collector box?
I think with Time Spiral Remastered, if it is essentially like a mystery booster thing, where they basically take 2 blocks or 3 blocks from back in the day and just reprints.
Yeah.
Here you go. And when we have, and if they do that and then do a collector's box.
Yes.
Wow. You're going to see just total annihilation of the secondary market.
My hope for this is that there's no collector box. There's no fancy variants, that they just kind of reprint old cards.
That's actually almost set box inception anyway.
Yeah.
The list within the list.
So all we know so far is that they're going to be reprinting old cards in their original frame. So I'm hoping that there are no fancy variants, that it's just reprints in their old frame. We also
essentially Mystery Booster 2.0.
Kind of, yeah, Mystery Booster 2.0, yeah, and they did specify Modern Horizons 2 is going to be print to demand, and in the announcement for when they announced both, they did not say Time Spiral will be print to demand. So it looks like it's going to be a limited run product like a Masters or like Mystery Booster. So
the next question is, where's the price point going to be at?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know where. I have no idea.
We've seen some interesting stuff. And you know what? Let's touch on a real quick thing right now. So we had Double Masters in 2020.
Yeah.
I still haven't drafted it because of obviously what's going on. However, I do have some boxes. I can't wait to draft it.
Yes.
But when you initially think about going away with the MSRP and you look at the price point that was initially sort of, it gets set between the distributors, the LSGs, and the consumers.
Yes.
That's sort of what sets the price now, right? When you look at that and you saw the price get set where it did for Double Masters, right? So it's sort of reminiscent of the Ultimate Master thing, but the argument was, well, there's double the rares, there's double the foils, there's it doesn't cost them any more money to print something with a gold symbol on it, or a silver or blue symbol for now. It doesn't change anything. No. And when you look at that, and then just the fundamental go after the wallet. Yep. And again, just reprints into the ground. Which, hey, some of these ones were also needed, but
some might be needed.
Then we get into VIP boxes, and it killed it. It felt kind of like Eternal Masters, where it was like it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was blatant. It was clear that it was about making as much money off it as possible, and not about supporting the game in a healthy way that allows it to continue to grow organically. So one of the thoughts, and we talked about this before, that I had about Time Spiral Remastered is that this is obviously Wizards is experimenting here, because they haven't really done this before. They haven't really reprinted an old set in its entirety in original frames. This is a first. So my thought,
there's got to be something different, right? That like I'll have a little planeswalker symbol.
Yeah,
down the bottom,
and it will
like,
say the cards they've spoiled do say copyright 2020 on them.
Right.
And the symbol is a little bit different. I don't think there's a planeswalker symbol, but the set symbol is a little different, and they do say 2020 on them, so you can differentiate them. Yeah.
Okay.
But my thought is that not only are they going after the singles market, but it seems they also want a piece of the secondary market for old booster boxes.
The sealed product.
Yeah, because now they're saying, well, if the old boxes are worth, depending on, you take like original Innistrad worth $500-$600, or going back,
$700-$800 now.
or going back even further, like World Wake $1,000. It seems like not only do they want a piece of the single market, I think this is the start of them going after the sealed booster box market, and I think that if it's successful, which it will be, let's be honest, it's going to be successful, we may see more old sets kind of get remastered, essentially reprinted, and I think they want to take a bite out of that market.
I don't think you're wrong, Brandon. I think absolutely, that's exactly what's going to happen here. I think that, again, they might just crash this game into the ground. However, the term remastered something I want to touch on real quick.
Yeah, okay.
They haven't really used this term before, except twice now. Exclusively to Arena.
Right, yes.
So when they say Amonkhet Remastered, it's basically Amonkhet Hour of Devastation shoved into one set.
Yep.
With
a few other cards
reprinted,
too, and a few other cards from other sets.
And a few other ones, like, jeez. And so they've done this also with Kaladesh and Aether.
Right.
On what's called the historic format, which is whatever. But the point being is, like, when they remaster a set, it's like they actually remaster the block. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with Time Spiral Remastered. Is what are they going to just slam together?
What's going to be included? Yeah.
And so, at any rate, looks to be super interesting. We'll have to see what happens. It better be a limited print run, because if it's not, God help us all.
I think it will be, but they haven't said one way or the other. But they did specify Modern Horizons 2 will be print to demand, and they did not specify that for Time Spiral. I have the announcement pulled up here on the screen right now. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Like Modern Horizons 1 was print to demand as well.
Yeah,
it's now out of print finally, so we'll see what happens, whether it spikes with Modern Horizons 2 coming, or if they even share a theme at all.
Yeah, I am excited for Time Spiral, but it is another indication that Wizards is fully committed to this path of monetizing every aspect of the game they possibly can upfront.
I don't think they can continue on this warpath for. You got 12 or 24 months before either you totally crush the game, you have too many people walk away from it, or everything goes to zero. And so I think they're pushing it as hard as they can, but like things like Secret Lairs gotta stop. There's a lot of stuff that's gotta stop. And honestly, these collector boosters gotta stop.
I think they're like we said, they're taking as much of that secondary market value away from everyone else and taking it up front for themselves, and that's going to hurt local game stores even more than they're already hurting, right? So they might be able to continue to sell, and cards might continue to be affordable for players because they're printing so much and putting it out there, but those stores that need that secondary market value to exist, to be profitable, are going to hurt the most.
Yeah, or else we're going to come back to a world where we can actually get together and play, and there's going to be nowhere to do so.
Right, yeah. And as more stores die, Wizards will just keep selling more stuff direct to consumer, like Secret Lairs, and they'll cut out the middlemen, they'll cut out distributors, they'll cut out local game stores, and players will have to find places to play themselves. They won't have local stores.
We had almost 3 dozen Secret Lairs
in
1 year.
Yeah, like, that's a whole other thing. So far, none have been announced for 2021, but they're coming. There won't be long. It won't be long, I'm sure.
But you know what? I do want to point out one good thing that Wizards did do this year for local game stores was when they actually released that second small wave of mystery boosters.
They did.
And
I agree.
it was free to the LGSs so that they could actually, like in the grand scheme of things, it's sort of like giving them a coffee, but at the same time, there was a gesture there.
Yep.
And then that was something positive to take away.
I agree. I totally agree. And actually, I was wrong. They have announced a secret lair, but this is the one, the dual-faced lands, the Ultimate Edition, that will be in a case like the original.
Do we need that?
No, we don't need that, but it is... No, I don't know if anyone... Why would anyone buy that? Like, the cards aren't... Outside of Standard, the cards aren't really playable. At least they don't seem to be yet. They don't have a home really
think they're totally modern playable. Don't get me... Actually, I think the price point on these lands is way low right now.
You think they're modern playable? Okay.
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
I don't play modern, so I'll take your word for it. Yeah, that's true. They do not tap, and they are very flexible. Like, I always thought I thought they seemed cool at the start, but I don't play modern, so...
Oh yeah, like that's a whole nother subject about the Oops All Spells decks and things like that coming out. But I think like why would you do a secret layer on something that's currently in Standard that you can get in a $4 booster pack? Oh wait, but you can't get the fancy variant. Anyway, moving on. What else do we got next year, man? As we're already encroaching like 20 minutes on this.
Yeah, crazy, right? So up next after that is Strix Haven, which we really don't know anything about, but this seems like it's like an unofficial Harry Potter crossover. So this would be like the second, actually, I guess, crossover that Wizards has done now, because they did an official one with The Walking Dead. We won't talk about that. I said it.
It's the name you're not supposed to speak, man.
Yeah, so I feel like Strixhaven, I wonder if they actually tried to get an official crossover with Harry Potter and they weren't able to. It was too expensive or something. So they're doing an unofficial, they're not calling it Harry Potter, but it's obviously a Harry Potter themed kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. Strix Haven looks pretty interesting. I think if they're ever gonna redo poison counters, I think I don't know.
Might be.
It makes me think of Sterix, like the Blight Dragon. It makes me think of, even the Harry Potter theme with the good, the bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be super interesting.
Yeah, we're obviously going to have lots of wizards in this set.
Mm-hmm.
There'll obviously
Warlocks,
be a wizard theme.
Mercenaries maybe come back.
You may have like a Tolarian Academy school kind of thing. Maybe there's like a Tolarian campus at the Strixhaven school. Who knows? Something like that. That's really all we know. We don't really know much else. We just know that it seems to be Harry Potter themed, but there's no spoilers or anything yet. And all we know is that it's the second Standard set for 2021. So it'll be spring, April, May of 2021.
Yeah. I think that's going to be, like if they can make something reminiscent of Throne of Eldraine, like again.
Yeah.
Such good flavor.
Yes.
Wicked draft format, like just the flavor drafting.
And I think it'll be good. I mean, honestly, going back to 2020 a little bit, every set was good. I mean, if you omit the collector boxes and secret layers and the prices. If you just look solely at the sets were awesome. Even Theros I thought was great. Ikoria I thought was really really clever and unique. Again, if you put the whole companion thing aside and some of the other cards that never should have been introduced, we could talk about Euro, we could talk about Omnath, but the sets
Wizards
themselves flavor-wise were awesome.
Done that before, by the way. Which is they've changed the rules.
Yes.
There's been cards that have been errated, but companions have completely. When you read the card, that's not how the card reads. It's completely. It's like, wait, let me go on the internet here.
You're fundamentally changing, how the game works. Like that is a fundamental change. You're essentially putting an 8th card available to be pulled in from a kind of outside of the game.
And that's part of Magic in general, is that obviously there's a natural power creep. Yeah. There has to be.
To some extent, yes, I agree.
Yeah, they kind of Urza Saga the crap, and then they would like dumbed it right down for like, Nemesis and Legions and all. But anyway, there's a natural power creep, but I think our power creep's getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how often do you see a vanilla creature anymore? Even for draft format or anything. So we'll see what new mechanics come out with this and that. They're always pushing the bar, and I think that's admirable.
They should try new things. They should absolutely try new things. But I mean, some things you got to look at and you got to think, maybe how did you think that was a good idea?
maybe R&D and the testing needs to be deeper. Like,
Yeah.
because like,
Yeah.
who printed Oko and was like, this is fine.
Well,
this is totally fine. And you know what? I do want to bring that up. 2020 was the year of the bans. We
Yes,
haven't had this
it
many
was.
bans since what?
Yeah.
Stoneforge Mystic back in like Mirrodin Block? Like, this has been like the worst amount of standard bans.
There's been a lot.
Like,
yeah.
And these cards don't even warp just standard. They
No.
warp like entirety of Magic, multiple formats.
Yeah, it started 2019 with Throne of Eldraine. We had Oko, and then even Theros had Euro, and Underworld Breach impacted a lot of older formats, and then Companion. There were no busted cards in Ikoria, I don't think, but Companion, that mechanic was just ridiculous. Yeah. So and then Core 21 was fine.
That had contention from 2020, and we had. It's been interesting.
Yeah, and then Omnath, of course, in Zendikar. So
right, Omnom. When do we get 5-color? Maybe a couple years from now, when we have return to Zendikar.
It's gonna happen sometime. Yeah.
What else do we got coming up next year?
So after that, the summer set is the Dungeons and Dragons crossover.
Right.
So which is taking the place of a core set. There's no core set in 2021. They've done
this before, and it's never a good idea. You don't get rid of core sets.
And the thing
unless you basically are saying that standard's dead.
And the crazy thing is the last couple core sets have actually been great. Core 20 was awesome. Core 21 was awesome. I love the idea of the Dungeons and Dragons crossover. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm not as excited about it as I am some other sets. But I think it's a cool idea. Like that, if you're going to do a crossover, that's the kind of thing that you should do. I think it's cool, but
sure. But then, like, what next year? Are we gonna have a Baldur's Gate set? Or are we gonna have you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But no, with the crossover, it's pretty neat. The Dungeons and Dragons thing, yeah.
Yeah, so all we know is we'll have a return of the party mechanic that was introduced in Zendikar Rising, because that is on theme with Dungeons & Dragons. I don't know a lot about Dungeons & Dragons. Like I said, I've never played, but you play as a party, basically, and you each choose your character class. So party in Magic has wizards, warrior, and you've got cleric, and
rogues.
Rogues, that's the 4. So you'll have a return of the party mechanic, and there'll be the theme will be completing quests with your buddies, I assume, but really we don't know a whole lot more.
That kind of feels almost like more Plane Chase anthology kind of. Anyway,
yeah.
But going back to core sets right now, real quick.
Since this is taking the place, yes, we'll have no core 2022.
Like 2021 was a good core set, but only for a couple of reasons. They printed a broken Planeswalker.
yeah.
And then they reprinted another broken Planeswalker.
And
so Teferi Master of Time is by far. I think we're going to see impacts down the way for that.
Yeah.
That's especially in Commander, you can trigger it every turn.
Yeah.
But Ugin. Yeah, Ugin needed a reprint, sure.
It was expensive. It was like $80.
How were they supposed to sell collector's boxes, Matt?
Because you need fancy variants of a card that's not had a fancy variant before. You needed, and it was a gorgeous card. I got to be honest. That full art Ugin with the wings, it was beautiful. But
it's awesome. But great, right? But that's how you sell it.
That's how you sell.
They didn't have a chase card like that, or Grim Tutor.
Grim Tutor
is another
was
good
the other
example
one.
of a card that actually needed a reprint for EDH.
It was Teferi, Ugin, and Grim Tutor were the 3 big reprints that were designed to sell.
But Teferi had 7 different colorations of art, variation. Like,
and
again, it's sell packs.
Yes.
So. Like Core 2020, though, that by far, I think has been one of the best, if not the best, courses.
Yes, and if we're gonna talk about any investing aspect, which we haven't even really talked about yet in this video, that's a good one. That one's gonna age well.
Oh yeah, because that literally was it came off the back of War of the Spark.
Yep.
Which was again not mechanically unique, but the build of the set with uncommon planeswalkers in every pack.
It was cool.
It was cool, but War of the Spark 2020 came up the back of that, and then that was it. And then people are calling this the Bronze Age. But that was the end of the Bronze Age of Magic.
Yes.
Because the next set was Throne of Eldraine,
and that's when we got
that was the beginning of the collector boxes.
That's when Wizards made it clear that they were going after that secondary market equity for themselves.
So, if you crack a box of 2020 and you get a foil veiled what, Veil of Summer?
Yeah.
No, not Veil of Summer. Yeah, Veil of Summer.
Veil of Summer. Foil Veil of Summer is like
Autumn's Veil
$60 Canadian or something.
Yeah,
like
because that's special.
It is special.
See,
yes,
we can go back to that. We don't need the collector's pile. Crazy
you can
crap.
have special stuff without collector.
It's nice to open a foil uncommon and be like, woo!
Yeah. This is amazing. Now now foils are worthless for the most part.
My god! Actually, a lot of these foil variants have actually fallen well underneath their initial first print run counterparts of like Meddling Mage and even the Tron lands.
Yeah,
it's been interesting.
Yeah, but it's just too many of them. I mean, having some variants is cool, but when you just print them into the ground, it's not cool anymore.
Yeah, variants means non-foil and foil.
And somewhat unique. Yeah, and somewhat unique. Yeah, anyway, yeah.
Maybe a promo card. Bring back good promo when we can play again. Anyway, I think
not mechanically unique, though.
All right, sorry. Let's just make more movie crossovers. We're going to have SpongeBob Secret Lair. Yeah. Anyway. I think we have the last quarter to talk about real quick.
Yeah, so after that we get Modern Horizons 2. That's the summer set.
Expected all day, but we won't.
Yeah, so we Modern Horizons 1 was a big success. It was really great. It was fun to draft. It was fun booster packs to open.
Again, problems, Wizards.
Yeah,
problems.
Will there be a collector box?
Thanks for banning
with
Mox Opal.
We don't.
Because of the mythic you printed. Had nothing to do with Mox Opal. Anyway,
yeah, and even the last Modern Horizons. Speaking of broken cards that maybe never should have been printed, Modern Horizons 1 obviously had Ogak. That's the one. So, and I assume
Akram's Astrolabe.
The Astrolabe, that's another one. Yeah. So, and I assume they're going to push the bar with this product because they need to inject some life into Modern. If they want this product to sell well, with Modern being the way it is right now, they're going to have to do some. They're going to have to do some.
Right.
They're going to have to print some unique kind of pushing the bar stuff, and I expect they will.
All right, so last quarter we have sort of I think in a lot of people's minds
another weird.
It's going to be
So we're going to have two sets, two Innistrad sets.
So is that confirmed that it is two sets?
Yeah, we're going to have a Werewolves themed Innistrad set and a Vampires themed Innistrad set. So I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if they're both going to drop at the same time. Maybe I'll pull up the announcement here and we'll take.
But they actually use the name Innistrad, do they not?
They do. Yes. They actually do use the name Innistrad. Actually, I don't think it's mentioned in this announcement, but they announced it on the stream. And yeah, so I don't know if it's going to release if they're going to release at the same time. I think they said that they're going to change up the timing a little bit, so they may not release at the same time. But we are going to have two Innistrad sets, and I think they will both be standard legal. So I don't know if they'll both be the full size or it'll be two smaller sets. But yeah, I don't know. Innistrad.
We've kind of done with blocks for over a year now since sort of Dominaria, right?
Yeah.
So other than obviously going back to Ravnica, but
that was the last.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I guess what does it entail? What's the I really love Innistrad flavor, and I think that's why it's sort of gone down in history as like one of the best draft formats ever. The art, the gothic, the feel, but like, can you really inject that back into Magic in 2021 with the sensitivity of everybody and like just the stark.
I expect it'll be probably scaled back a little bit. We won't see kind of the same stuff. But and so again, this seems kind of 2020 was the year of Commander, but this seems like releasing a Vampires themed and a Werewolves themed set. I think this is kind of targeted at Commander as well. I think you'll see some kind of new Vampire stuff for Commander, some maybe Commander reprints in the Vampire theme that are needed, and same thing with Werewolves. I don't know if Werewolves is a big thing, is really a big archetype already, but
I think it's more of a meme one.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of support for it yet, but there may be after this comes out.
And when you look at Werewolf sets, or like, let's just talk about Innistrad for a second. So we go back to 2011 with the Innistrad block, and then we go from there and we jump 5 years, 5 years? Into 2016 was Shadows over Innistrad and Eldritch Moon.
2015 and 20... No, it was 2016. Yeah, it was all 2016.
2016 was that block.
Yep.
So here we are 5 years later back then, right?
Yep.
Like sort of reliving it, if you will, without, sort of Innistrad Remastered, which honestly, Shadows over Innistrad was like the worst draft set ever.
I've heard that. I've never drafted, but yes, I've heard the power level was just...
Oh, it was nerfed to crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just ended up in stalemates. But so here we are 5 years later again.
Yeah.
And we're going back. Yeah. So I guess takeaway from what's coming up next year.
And same thing, Zendikar was pretty much 5 years after the last battle for Zendikar. We went back to Zendikar Rising. So
and Zendikar was about every 5 years. 2011? This was 2012.
Original Zendikar?
10?
Original Zendikar 2009, 2010? Yeah.
Yeah, so again, there's your five-year, throwback, and it's kind of getting old now. But even Ravnica was almost 5 years. Well, it was 5 years. That was 2000. No, 6 years, 7 years.
It was a little longer. I think it was 7 years from like 2013.
Throwback. But anyway, I think the biggest takeaway that I'm gonna, this is my opinion, the lack of a core set is if we do get back to organized play this year, especially maybe sometime mid-year.
Yeah.
The lack of a core set is going to be absolutely detrimental to the game, and I think that's going to definitely and hurt Standard further, because you need those staples, you need those you need those deal with. That colored pie sort of, you need that stuff.
Yeah, those
we saw
answers,
that when they did Origins and they went away with it for a couple of years. It was unhealthy draft environment. It was overpowered.
Okay, interesting. I wasn't really playing standard. Yeah, I wasn't really playing back then. So, so I mean, will they spread out reprints maybe through all the sets throughout the year to kind of compensate for that? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
We'll have to see. But also, there was a lot of talk about Wizards trying to get something out before the end of 2020.
Yeah,
and they didn't.
Did not happen. And so one of my questions to kind of end this video is, what do we think there will be as far as surprise sets that have not been announced yet? Because last year in 2019, Wizards did the same thing. They put out the list of all the sets that would be announced, that would be released in 2020. And we already knew mystery boosters were coming, but then Jumpstart was announced in January or February. We didn't know about that. And Double Masters was announced a few months after that. And then Commander Legends was announced a few months after. So we had a couple surprise sets. Now, this time they've told us about 2 specialty sets, Time Spiral, Remastered, and Modern Horizons. But you got to think there's going to be a third. We had 4, actually. I mean, if you think Mystery Booster, Jumpstart, Double Masters, and Commander Legends. We had 4 specialty sets in 2020. So there's got to be something else coming, at least one more thing coming in 2021.
Yeah, and again, I thought, the rumor mill was that something else was, they're trying to get it out, but obviously due to complications with production, shipping, all that sort of stuff.
We still can't get enough Jumpstart.
Wizards, stop making so many different products in a pandemic and just start focusing. Put some stuff on the back burner.
Yeah, ideas, like obviously all this was already planned. Man. Yeah, we know, obviously this was all planned before the pandemic started, but, maybe just pause, delay something. Like Commander Legends, or Jumpstart or Double Masters, they didn't have to be released when they were released. They can be released
maybe delay
anytime.
Something, maybe just take a break. Maybe fix your printing issues. Maybe fix your foiling issues. Maybe fix that sort of stuff.
Commander Legends was bad.
As a player that loves this game, I hate seeing when you can't feed, your long-time outstanding players just garbage. Yeah. You have to, you got to bring the quality back. Mm-hmm. Number one.
Yep.
But anyway, what do you guys think is going to happen this year? What do you feel about these sets coming out? Really want to know.
Yeah.
Also, moving forward this year, what do you guys want to see from us? Do you want more market update videos? Do you want to see some draft content? Do you guys what are you guys looking for?
Yeah,
obviously, we will be doing box openings for every box or every set coming.
At least every standard set. Yep.
Yep. Every standard set at least. We'll be doing 1 box opening. Hopefully, 1 for every set. I believe probably won't be a problem. But what else do you guys want to see? let us know.
Yeah, I think, depending on how well this video does, I think maybe we'd like to get into doing more just discussion videos like this, because honestly, the two of us spend hours on the phone talking to each other about shit like this, and we're like...
Also the financial states and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't even really touch on any of that in this video, so I think, instead of just talking about it on the phone, we'll have some conversations like this on camera and get you guys involved in the conversation and see what you guys think.
Yeah. Let us know, guys.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're right about at 40 minutes, so I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, guys, whatever 2020 throws at you, I hope it's better than last year.
2021. It's going to be better than 2020. Yeah, it should be better than... I'm
feeling a repeat.
It's like it's like my brain is stuck in 2020. It's like it's forever going to be 2020 because it was just... Never in 1 year have I said, the what year we're in so many times, like, oh, 2020.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all we got, guys. Hotfire MTG. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and please comment down below what you think about everything that's coming up this year, and what do you think? Are we going to have another 36 secret layers or more?
I hope not. Hopefully what we can have is some collected company in the near future, everybody.
Some Cocos.
Hopefully, well, it just means for us.
Yeah.
As a player base, we can have some collected company.
Get together and actually play some games. That'd be great. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Later, everybody.
Later, guys.
Bye.